Hey, everybody! Ah, Coco and Walker and Sophia! Oh my gosh, hi! Oh no, my browser disappeared. My browser totally disappeared. What's going on? Is it here now? Yeah, alright, cool. I promised I would read this on stream about 3 weeks ago, and things just didn't work out until, until now. Oh, hey, Ark! And Theo! Oh man, hey! Oh wow, okay, full house. Cool. So I had promised a someone who had dropped by my last web novel stream that I was going to read theirs. It's called I Shouldn't Have Opened That Door. It's a science fantasy time loop. Time loops are immensely popular on Royal Road, I've noticed. And I mean with good reason. They're time loops. Everyone loves a good time loop. So I'm going to just read the description of it. Warning: this does contain gore. Ooh, time loops? No? Yes? Maybe? um. So there is now there is, I guess, some controversy. Time loops maybe boo, maybe not boo. We don't know. But alright, three factions of humans share Earth. When all materials have been used, where do they go for more? The mundane went to space. To stop competing for resources once more, the Magificers created doors, portals to new worlds. Peyton Braxton, a veteran delver, is forced to step into a position of leadership, much to his chagrin. What? Axes? What? Buddy. And Ziri? Oh my gosh. Oh, why is there such a party going on? Oh. Hey. So and it's my manager too, Phantasmal Gamer Josh. So I'm totally derailed. Peyton Braxton, a veteran delver, is forced to step into a position of leadership, much to his chagrin, after he survives a nasty encounter. He's the only survivor of an elite squad, so the Magi Council pulls him from the front lines. Walker, what? Buddy! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, utilizing his unique set of skills, he's placed as a protector of the next wave of talent. However, years of constantly encountering life or death scenarios, surviving where others didn't, have left Peyton numb to its world and its struggles. Fairy dust takes it all away, allowing him to relive his past, a time before the horror of the doors. Oh, buddy, you're so sweet. Seriously. Bark, 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 bark. Indeed. So I actually got up to chapter 2, so I'm gonna just sneak myself back to chapter 1. Now sneak on back to chapter 1, ignore that little backtrack warning. And here we have a note from Finn Babot, the lovely author. From what I hear, the site really enjoys power fantasy and lit RPG. You won't find attributes or status boxes here. Peyton Braxton is a grizzled veteran with issues, packing some strong magic, emotional instability, as well as his 2 pistols, Angel and Demon, and his trusty pulse rifle. You'll find a fantastical world meshed with advanced technology. As the tag state, it's high fantasy and soft sci-fi. Cannot get enough of that stuff. The author is a participant in the 2021 Reddit Serials Derby, and the goal is to have the entire story up and posted before the editing phase comes around. So we will, we'll expect good things. The mic audio, yeah, thank you so much, dude. This wonderful gentleman set me up with some mic settings that were so much better than my previous settings. He did say that, indeed. Alright, let's jump into it. Patting at his pocket, his mind fuzzy, Peyton looked for the fairy dust he snagged from Vinny on his way up, transferring credits to the Cretan with but a thought. If he kept supplying for a low cost, the dealer's fairy farms were a safe secret. As he found the packet of gold goodness, his Trilocom flashed with a notification. Madison was calling. The device rang several times before going silent. He stared at the fairy dust for a long moment, sighing and returning it to his pockets. Standing from his recliner, he made his way to the refrigerator. As much as he wanted to talk to her, the day left his social battery operating on a deficit. I know you can hear me, Peyton, her angelic voice echoed from the walls. Peyton unclasped his utility belt and dropped it on the counter. The crystalline cylinders clanked loudly, but the noise fell on deaf ears. He opened the refrigerator, the waves of cold air sending goose flesh rolling up his arms. A week's worth of sweat, dirt, and blood layered on his arm. The panels on the hallway glowed to life, and Madison's face appeared. I heard about your day. I'm sorry to hear. Grunting, he pulled out the strongest brew he could find, a Pelzic Classic brew. With a practiced efficiency, he twisted the cap at the top and tilted his head back, emptying the entire thing in 2 gulps. Letting out a belch, Peyton smacked his lips and wiped his mouth, tossing the empty can into the recycler extending from the side of the refrigerator. With a breathy sound, it closed, and the sound of grinding filled the air. The recycler slid open once again, empty. Leaning his elbows across the sleek and silver counter, he rubbed his temples. A deep pressure behind his eyes caused a headache to form, the stress of business beginning to turn his reddish beard gray. Oh, an afraid? Oh, hey, thank you so much! Oh, Super Robot Wars, good times. Heck yes. Where am I even here? Peyton, he rolled his eyes. Remind me why I keyed you into my home sense? Remind me why I put up with you, she retorted, her brows furrowed. Sorry, it's been a long day for everyone. Yeah, I know. I was there. They lapsed into silence as he recalled the day's events. He knew she wanted to help, that she probably knew everything that happened down to the last detail, but she didn't live it, experience it. If you need to talk, I really shouldn't have gone through that door, Mad. I lost them all. Tears slowed down his face. Most of them haven't even seen the 3rd cycle. Peyton clenched his hands, the leather gloves squealing in protest. Then pressure, the need for an outlet, conflicted with overwhelming exhaustion. I failed, Mad. I failed them all. Thank you again, Raiders! Raiders of the Lost Story. No, you couldn't know. He ended the call and barred her key from accessing his systems for 12 hours. An earful would welcome him in the morning, but he couldn't contain the buzzing in his mind. The last time he lost control over his power of Volt, he was but a trainee. Damn it, he shouted, slamming his hands on the counter. A lightning storm exploded outward, but the Department of Magical Handling and Abnormals, DMHA for short, long since required mage residences to be nuke-proof. His outburst didn't manage to even scratch... Oh, thank you for the host, buddy! Didn't even scratch a single surface. It was just one of many caveats of having magic activated through emotions. Emotional people became a bigger threat than mundane weaponry. Training kicked in, and he reasserted control over the Voltia. Closing his eyes, he numbed himself. Allowing a void of thought to suck away the memories, he reached into the refrigerator. Nothing mattered. The Pelzic brew numbered 2 12-packs, minus the 1 drink he had. Taking both cases out, he set them on the counter. Routinely, he began to disarm, detaching the magnetic holsters from his waist. Numbly, he set the angel and demon on the counter, rubbing away the accumulation of filth. Only a small hint of appreciation for the dichotomy of enchanted silver, steel, and obsidian stirring through the blanket of numbness. Grabbing the brew, he walked over to his recliner. Protesting his rough treatment, the drinks clattered inside the cases as he put them down on the coffee table made of enchanted steel. When he slipped off his jacket, he struggled to support the weight of it and his pulse rifle, attached by a magnetic disc. His arms ached, and more than he realized, so he dropped the jacket and weapon into the empty chair. Sitting in the only other chair in his flat, he propped his feet up. When he saw the state of his boots, he looked around at the rest of the flat. Mud tracked his progression through his home. It didn't matter. The home sense would deal with it. Kicking free of his boots, he opened another drink, then another, and another. Numbed by drink, he slank back into the chair as the quiet pervaded the flat, screaming his loneliness to the world. Tomorrow would be an awful day, but the day after would be a time of merriment. That's just how these things went, so Peyton embraced the suck, giving in to his grievances. Once his mind and body were properly numbed, he pulled out the bag of fairy dust. The golden powder beckoned to him, and his Voltia responded in kind. Pouring several flecks of it onto his fingertip, he eyed the substance. Banned by every magical society, increased longevity, memory retention, and kami, or raw magic power. A boon to every mage, but it didn't come freely. Fairy farming wasn't a new concept, but centuries have shown that fairy dust can cause people to contract kami-borne illness due to overstuffing themselves. Studies showed that descendants of those affected would never bear mage kin again. Bad stuff, one might say, but Peyton knew he would never be a father. Lineage and descendants were a pipe dream for someone like him, a delver, so he didn't even bother considering the possibility, and Madison resented him for that. Even now, he lost himself to the memory of her blue eyes and soft skin. Tilting his head back, his eyes bleary, he placed the flecks on his tongue, the vibrancy of the world heightened by a degree or two. Like a storage container, he rummaged through his mind and relived the best memories of his life. A content smile adorned Peyton's face as he slipped from the Pelzic brew, immersing himself in the memories. As much as he griped and groaned at the time, he missed his younger days at Fadnir Academy with Madison. Helping her come into her own as a true Magificer was arguably his biggest achievement, despite nearly 2 decades of delving. Slipping away from those memories, he followed their relationship. As it was every time he journeyed back to the past, it was an experience of bitter nostalgia. Recognizing the good old days as gone and past, he could only look forward to the days to come. These were grim days, not in any way directly affecting his way of life. No. Instead, the threat of promotion loomed over his head. Barely earned for his efforts, but it would put him at a desk in some faux leadership position. Hayden couldn't imagine a sedentary life. For as unknown as some of the lands at the other end of each door was, it came with its own host of excitement. Yup! Hey! The star of the show is here! How's it going? Came with its own host of excitement. Over the years, his perception of reality warped from those he knew, surviving when other delvers failed, being near death more times than he could count, being responsible for the death of someone else, or an entire training regiment. A new memory appeared before him, one of his happiest. Holding the Magitech core behind his back, Madison waited for him, her beaming smile melting his heart all over again. When he presented her with the core, she cried ugly tears of joy. The next moment, their lips locked. Their first kiss. Oh, did you? I hope it's helping. I'm really enjoying it so far. Awkwardly, they broke away, and she completely assembled her first piece of Magitech. Presenting it to Professor Dunning, they both waited with bated breath, only for him to stutter in disbelief at Madison's work. But that was the end of their happiness. At some point, his home sense allowed in the morning light, revealing his slumped form surrounded by the empty beer cans. The baggie of fairy dust was now completely empty. That's a trip. That is an actual trip. Hey, Kieran! How's it going? What do you guys think? Do you want to do chapter 2 as well? I've got only one other, thing lined up for reading, which is of a vastly, vastly different genre, so the whiplash might, whiplash might get to you. Alright. Yeah. Awesome. Alright, you know what? Let's do chapter 2. That'll be great. Zoop. Report chapter. Chapter was too good. Thank you! Have a great night, Axis. And we've got a note from the author themselves. If you enjoy the story, please follow and share. Not sure what this voting shenanigan is, but that too. I think voting was actually just removed from Royal Road, so maybe not vote for it, but definitely follow it. Definitely follow. Chapter 2! Stirring from slumber, Peyton rolled out of the recliner and made his way to the toilet. Leaving himself in a fugue, he ignored the microbots cleansing his filthy arrival of the night before. Once finished, he cleansed his face in the sink, slapping his cheeks to add some color to his pale skin. I really outdid myself this time, he muttered, Voltia flicking across his fingertips. He coalesced the power in his palm, slamming the writhing ball of power onto his chest. He howled as energy coursed through him, but it did the trick. Shedding his clothes, he called out to his home sense, shower time, full blast, full temperature. I'm gonna need it. Even if he wanted to squander the day, he needed to get moving. If the sun's rays blaring into the flat were to be trusted, and the sun usually wasn't wrong, then he had another 2 hours before he had to report for duty. 2 hours too long. Even as the water cleansed the evidence of the last week from his body, the memories stuck with him. Despite trying to drown them out the night before, they stuck. As much as he wanted to eradicate the presence in his mind, forget the pain and loss, there was no hope. Reality was a cruel mistress, and it would make him remember his failings. His trilocom beeped aggressively, demanding his attention. Madison's key was still banned for a couple hours still. Only one other person knew his information. Receiving the communication attempt, a holograph of Sarah, his handler, popped up. Coming cursed blight, Braxton, you look like crap. She waved her Magitech arm, the enchanted steel arm glaring with a hint of mage light. You'll be sober when Archmage Buller requests an audience, correct? Fronting his confirmation, he soaked the back of his neck. Even through the trilocom, her hawk-like stare pierced him. Rolling his eyes, he nodded. I'll be there, Sarah. I'm good for that much, you know. Sometimes I wonder, Braxton. I trust you to do what needs to be done inside a door. Are you suggesting that it might be time I find a new handler? I'd be sad to see you go, Sarah, but I understand if our working relationship is not to your liking. He mentally prodded the home sense to cut the flow of water, relishing in the brawny handler's squirm. Remember who needs who here. With that, he killed the connection and crossed the flat, opposite the pair of couches. As he approached, his wardrobe's chrome doors slid open, folding back and out of the way. Grabbing a change of clothes, he pulled the outfit on, groaning. Clothes fit like a second layer of skin, weaved spider silk from the silk's valleys. Long had it been since he'd conceived. Whoa. Words, right? Long had it been since he'd acted as a diplomat between the spider-like demi-humans there, but the clothes they provided as a gift couldn't be equaled by the common fabrics on Wanda, his homeworld. Luxuries afforded by regularly risking his life and limb. Had the Spider-Kin refused the Magi Council access to their subterranean rivers of silver steel, Peyton's duties as diplomat would have been that of executioner. Did he have a say in his role? If only. Pipe dream for one of his kind. Tempered from a young age, his destiny was plotted from day one. But he couldn't complain too much. Were it not for his upbringing, Madison would have been a starry night sky, endlessly beautiful and impossibly unobtainable. He made peace with who he was, what he was. A pure blood, born and raised with the intent to be a Delver, and a Delver he was through and through. Turning away from the wardrobe caused the doors to unfold and slide closed. Peyton retrieved his gear from where he'd left it the night before, taking only a handful of seconds to reattach his utility belt, Angel, and Demon. Naga waited for him on the chair, unmoved. Picking the rectangular rifle up and slinging it over his shoulder, he pressed 3 buttons on either side of the magnetic disc. With a pop, the disc fell away from the filthy jacket. When he retrieved the disc, he shoved it into a Kami-created travel pack. The more Magificers pushed the bounds of Magitech, the more nifty tools and contraptions he got to play with inside the doors. Many made his life too easy at times, while others may as well not have been created at all. He counted himself lucky, not having to deal with most of the contraptions some Delvers were sent out with. If he'd formed a more indefinite sponsorship with DiMaggio he could have ended up as one of those test subjects, a number with no name for Magificers at the top, testing their products on greenhorns. And for that, he'd never be able to pay Madison back. Time to go. The home sense closed his flat to the outside world, locking the door to his key. Wonder what they've got for breakfast. Passing through the mage-safe homes, he mentally prepared his Trillicom to schedule him a ride, automatically paying for the fare. Stepping into the dining hall, he took a whiff, smelling an assortment of cuisine. Most noticeable, there were spiced eggs with some kind of blocky meat cube, something reminiscent of Delver rations. Meandering through the hall, he scanned each meal. Mage-safe homes abided by every custom, and then some, much to his chagrin. Even if currency wasn't an issue, he was a trickster at heart. It wouldn't be the first time mishandling of food got him a free meal. The most palatable option looked like a simple salad with chicken or turkey topping, 2 sticks of grain and fruit paste rounding off the nutritional values. Each item contained traces of Kami within, guaranteed to refresh and refill the cerebral siphon for short. The memory of history lessons, the minutiae of minutiae, threatened to kick into focus, and he groaned. Magical theory wasn't his strong suit. Otherwise, he probably would have been a Magificer. Well, had he ever been given the opportunity to choose what he wanted. Food went down, tasteless and bland. A glass of water was a prerequisite to eating anything within mage societies, integral to swallowing and washing away the vile taste. He grinned. As much as he griped, the life of a Delver spoiled him. The Trillicom notified him of the ride's arrival. Even though he'd only been home one night, he didn't expect to stay on Wanda. The doors always needed more Delvers, and he needed the doors. A symbiosis of necessity, though many would argue his lack of a break was something to be concerned by. He'd argue they should mind their own business. A private lift, an anti-gravity personal transport, awaited him. As he got in, he couldn't help but look around. He was being watched. I love this. I love this so much. I'm super looking forward to the time loop that's gonna happen. I'm loving the blend of sci-fi and magic. Oh my gosh. My model probably just spazzed out when I did that. This is really, the tension is building and mounting already. This is really good, dude. Sorry, I use dude for, like, everyone. I apologize if dude is not a good word. This is wonderful. This is really great, and I can't wait to finish reading it, although I would love to read something else on stream, and then do more of reading this just on my own. Yeah, dude. Dude is a very important word, guys. Instead of Starshines, I'm going to start calling everyone dudes. Well, we've got the wonderful author here. Not to put you on the spot or anything, but is there anything that you want to say about your stuff? Is anyone, I don't want to be like, hey, let's have a Q&A real quick, but if there's anything you want to, if there's anything anyone wants to say, it's a good time. Check it out. Yeah, everyone. All right, royalroad.com/fiction44054. I shouldn't have opened that door. And there does need to be more tech fantasy. It's very true. Ah, there I go making silly faces. Sorry about that. And then next up, I'm thinking there is this contest going on between My Anime List and Honeyfeed, another web novel site. And this is an entry in that contest that Tech Monkey Tai of the chat has written. And I read it earlier today and it was super funny. So I was thinking I would give him a shout out and read that as well. So without further ado, I keep dying in this fantasy world, but my new BFF is necromancer, so it's fine, I guess. Most likely hashtag Isekai. But yeah. We've got our hero may be a leech on society, pampered by a rich father, but he has one redeeming factor, a love of JRPGs. His day is made when he picks up Breath of Destiny 6 in the mail, ready for high adventure. Yeah, enjoy, have good writing. Have good writing. Except he gets hit by the delivery truck while getting it and dies. Oops. But hey, he gets sent to the game world by some mysterious force. He's seen enough Isekai anime to know his life from now on. What do you mean a world operating on RPG logic would be horribly dysfunctional? And what do you mean our hero stats are so pathetic that no one will even ask his freaking name? Things aren't going to be easy as anime shows, huh? This is for my new life as a blank, fantasy parody, Isekai adventure humor. So let's... Chapter 0, Prelude. So I got hit and woke up in a medieval village. Prelude 1. It was launch day for Breath of Destiny 6, a game surely to be the game of the year according to every website worth its salt. An epic Japanese role-playing game focusing on a hero who would save the world from the foul forces of the mysterious Ad Deus. Nothing was quite as good as the high adventure, and best of all, a game with plenty of cute girls. That was the real reason he played JRPGs, to be honest. A scrappy lad of barely 22, living alone in a house paid for by his rich father who was often off on business trips and only had enough time to visit for his son's birthday. Our hero didn't have a job. He never needed one, in his opinion. All that mattered was his harem of waifus. Man, isn't that just all that matters in general? Sweet, sweet anime girls were his lifeblood. Any girl that caught his interest, their merchandise was his to own, all over his home. And Breath of Destiny had the best ones. Each game had a new set of girls for him to fall in love with. It was beautiful, damn it. So imagine his surprise when his copy of the newest game was here almost first thing that morning, right in his mailbox. Such a sweet treat, such a sweet game, such sweet wives awaited him. He pushed his way through a messy living room to the door, opening it with such violent excitement and force that you'd be forgiven if you thought he was going to rip it straight off. Rushing, he looked down. Not a thing on his porch, so it had to be the mailbox. That damn thing, it was so far. So many yards, so many seconds he could spend on playing the game, god damn it. With a heavy sigh, he ran out in a sprint. He arrived at the mailbox a few yards out of his driveway a moment later, eager to open his mailbox when... Well, the delivery truck nudged him with just enough force to slam him face first into the mailbox. The sickening crack of bone flooded the world around him, his vision turning a blurred mess as he slumped over. The delivery driver was quick, hopping out of her truck to help. "Oh crap," she explained with panic in her eyes. Our hero couldn't see, what with the blurring and darkening hellscape his eyes had become. "Are you okay? Talk to me, dude." The delivery driver's voice trailed off into a ringing cacophony of noiselessness. Was this what it was like to die, your vision dark, your hearing gone, your senses failing one by one? He felt like he was floating on an everlasting cloud of nothingness. Like a flying bird frozen in a snapshot. He just floated there in ringing darkness. The sense in his fingers were gone. He couldn't move his legs. Even his mouth wouldn't work as he felt each rasping breath drag on shorter and shorter for each second before, with a painful whimper, he died. It wasn't what he expected. The bright light wasn't there, nor was there a chorus of angels or the laughter of Satan. All he heard was the raspy, masculine voice of an unknown figure whispering, "Another player in this game world would be fun." And with that, never again did Earth see our hero open his eyes again. Rotag is a disaster. I am super, super on board. With a gasp, he awoke once more. The first thing he realized was the piercing ringing in his ears was gone, and the lingering words from the mysterious voice. The fact that he could see surprised him too, and by the look of things, he awoke in a small medieval hut, the sort of thing you'd find in an RPG. Wait, Dying? Hearing a mysterious voice in your last breath? Waking up in a medieval hut? Oh, it was suddenly all making sense. We do need more pathetic isekai leads. I'm in an isekai, he proclaimed as he hopped to his feet, an almost hysterical grin on his pale face before bursting into laughter. He was a chosen one or some bullshit like that. He was going to save a fantasy world and roll in the babes. God damn, he knew those hours upon hours spent watching anime and reading light novels would pay off someday. He might as well have spent his life preparing for this. What's it now? A soft voice asked as an old man, one with long white hair and wrinkled suntanned skin, entered the room. Ah, is that something from the city boy? Ah, the first NPC to be met in his epic quest. With a laugh, he rubbed the back of his head. Yeah, I guess you could say that, Gramps. Well, whatever this Isekai is, it doesn't matter right now. The village elder gave a small smile at our lad. We were worried when we found you. You had a real wallop on your head. Didn't think you'd wake up. A slight chuckle from the old man. But it's always good when someone makes it out of the forest. What's your name, laddie? Ah. The color drained from our hero's face as his wide grin faded and his eyes went wide. He couldn't remember his own name. Well, this is gonna sound embarrassing, but I don't really remember? Guess that's what head trauma does to you, huh? Ah, how unfortunate. Must have gotten amnesia with that bonk on your head. The old man's smile turned sympathetic as he came over to give our hero a pat on the back. Well, laddie, we'll take you to the village's mage, get things sorted out for you, find out your class, your stats, all that. For all we know, we could have found the generation's biggest hero. The old man gave a laugh, which our hero felt he had to join in too. So this world has classes, the boy thought. Stats too, must be one of these JRPG worlds, huh? No C.S. Lewis shit here. Come on, laddie, let's get you up and out of here. The old man whistled for his grandson to come into the room, and when he arrived, said grandson was a man whose clothing screamed, "Holy man," to our hero. Must be a priest. Oh, how good it is to see you awake, sir. The grandson gave a kind, earnest smile. My name is Jacob. Might you tell me your... The village elder cleared his throat to interject. He's forgotten it, sonny. Poor lad. Think it's Ophelia's handiwork? Jacob frowned at the name, muttering a prayer under his voice, before saying he was found in the forest. The wicked witch could have hexed him. Ophelia. His eyebrow crowned upward. Sounded like somebody a hero would slay. Clearly this foul witch would be brought down by his shining blade of justice. We shouldn't keep talking about this in front of him. The village elder gestured softly towards our hero. Jacob gave a nod before helping the guest out of his bed. Let's get you to dinner, yeah? Jacob gave a kind smile again. He agreed with a nod, finally hearing his stomach growling. Yeah, that'd be nice. Prelude 3. He made a big mistake at dinner. He asked who Ophelia was. What moments ago was a merry festival of feast as the village sat around bonfires in the center of the village. His village had suddenly taken a hushed darkness to it. Children asked their mothers how the stranger didn't know of the wicked witch of Blue Hills Forest. Husbands eyed their wives. The village elder cleared his throat to break up the sound of whispers. We mustn't forget that our guest isn't from here, my friends. He turned to look at our hero, who sat beside him. Are you sure you want to know about the witch? Our boy gave a nod. The old man of the village sighed. She was born long before even I was, the old man started. Ophelia used to be a sweet staple of the village for generations, a pretty thing that had been here longer than anyone could remember, and made sure everything ran smoothly with her magic. Doesn't sound so bad, he replied, muttering under his breath. But she changed one day, maybe 30 years ago. She'd gone into the woods one day and found... something. He sighed, shaking his head. We don't know what she found, but she built herself a cabin in those woods and summoned something. Something foul. Something that seemed to make even the bravest men of the continent tremble. Ah, sounds pretty bad, our hero nodded, rubbing his chin. Maybe I'm here to take her out or something like that? The old man gave a hearty laugh, with most of the village giving some sort of chuckle alongside him. Ah, is that what you think? I mean, why else would I be here? He gave a laugh, arrogant and self-serving as he always did, whenever he had to prove himself. After all, his father, and Lady Luck, had always made sure he could do anything he damn well pleased. That luck must have carried over, and hey, maybe the witch will drop some massive amounts of gold. You found me in the forest, so I must have gotten through it somehow. The village elder's laughter ended quickly, and his face took a grave look, eyes squinting as he scowled at the boy sitting next to him. Ah, you did, but luck is mercurial. The witch could have easily just passed you for being too weak a foe, lad. Don't get yourself killed. We don't even know your class. Yeah, but like you said earlier, I could be the world's greatest hero. Another cackling, arrogant laugh that seemed to worsen the village elder's mood. The old man mumbled something under his breath, pushing himself up with his staff and wandering towards a particular someone in the crowd. What? You said it earlier. The elder stopped at a woman with raven black hair who wore a silvery outfit, something that obviously was too expensive for a mere serf like the rest of the village. The village elder whispered into the woman's ear, too low for anyone else to hear. She nodded curtly, rising and sliding a deck of cards out a long sleeve of her gown. The crowd around her parted slightly, leaving an open circle around the woman. It didn't take much to put two and two together. She was clearly the village mage. Come here. The village elder's kindly, warm tone was replaced by one that was cold and demanding, motioning for a hero to step forward. We'll find your class, boy. Eh? He rose, wandering over with a mild hesitation that betrayed his fear. Scenes like this, where the jovial people you meet in the first town, the friendly elder, all turn negative, those were always flags that a tragedy was going to happen. Damn it! He sat across from the village mage, who shuffled the deck of cards and began laying out what she drew, muttering incantations under her breath. Above each card, a flicker of light popped into existence, some brighter than others, others fading into darkness quicker than they even appeared. The crowd around him whispered things to each other, things our lad couldn't hear but sounded dreadful, hopeless, disparaging. The sort of thing that leads to a hopeful protagonist's gruesome death by the hands of the first villain of the story. He watched as the spark of light above the cards faded away, as the woman slowly collected each card and stacked them back into her deck. The mage spoke a moment later. He's a serf. Before our boy's eyes appeared the stats he had in his new life. Name? Question mark. Attack? 2. Defense? 1. Resistance? 0. Magic? 0. Faith? 3. Elemental affinity? Earth. Perfect class? Serf. He didn't really understand these stats, but he did understand the perfect class. A serf. The village elder sighed, shaking his head. All right then. He'd die trying. He looked over at the boy, but whatever he said didn't reach our hero's ears. The same deafening ringing filled his ears once more as he looked on aimlessly. Serf? A serf? What did I do to deserve this? That voice said I'd be another player. Is that what I'm supposed to play as? Some whelp in a village held hostage by a witch? Damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it! This isn't how it works. I'm supposed to be the hero of this world. I'm supposed to be OP. Doesn't matter anyway, lad. The village elder looked up as our hero shot up, turning his back to the crowd. The elder's eyes went wide as he saw him break into a sprint. Lad, you'll die. You were a lucky one. Don't try again. I don't fucking care. He shouted back as he sprinted through the crowd, each face blurring and swimming by. I'll show you. I'll show you all. Jacob sighed as he watched our hero run through the village and into the forest, laying on the edge of it all. Ah, another goner, huh, grandfather? Happens to every damn one we find. The elder took a deep breath through his nostrils, nose flaring as he did. We'll send a search party for the corpse in the morning. And with that, never again did this village see our hero alive again. Whew. Man, I'm just loving this. This is so descriptive. Let me see if I can just pop out to a different screen real quick. Boop. Ah! I'm enormous! I'm enormous! Hello, everyone! Big dog! Oh, Azu! Hey! Man, it's good to see you. Man, it is so good to see you. I'm so sorry about the timing. I'll try to do something a different time next time. I'm after work, so... ah. Yeah. Well, I hope you're enjoying Twitch. So we've just read two pretty killer novels. I'm a little afraid to bring out anything of mine after this because honestly, that was really good. That was really, really good. Whew. Kaiju Laika, yes! Like Clifford the Big Red Dog. Instead, it's Laika the Big Blue Dog. Western take on Isekai is definitely always fun. Let's see. What to do? Oh gosh. Did my mic disappear? No, it didn't. Thank God. Ah. Alright, this time I'm not gonna forget to raid. I'm going to find someone to raid. You see who is around, what is going on. Just clicking around, clicking around. Watch me miss my. Come on. Come on, Stream Manager. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Chugging along. This is what I get for closing my windows before I need to close them. Yeah, So I'm a Spider, So What is ridiculously cute. Oh my god, dude, I was thinking about Ayakashi like 5 minutes ago. I was thinking of Ayakashi. The novel that I'm writing for this contest has a lot of Ayakashi references that I think only certain people will pick up on. Like a Halloween tower climb. Oh, my heart. My heart. Alright, I'm trying to find someone to raid, but this is not loading. Come on. Let's see. Alright. How about I raid one of my VTuber siblings? I'm gonna go crash in on Strawberry with Milk. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow. Let's get this raid started, though. As soon as my darn computer will let me do that. Oh, thanks for the follow, dude. Right. Why is this not working? Is this working? Is this not working? All right, let's try it, everybody. And here we go. Did it work? Is it working? Yes.